I would like to thank the Assistant Minister for Autism, the Honourable Emily Burke, for hosting this event and allowing us to formally submit the results from our autistic survey regarding this ministry. I would like to note that autistic people are not one homogenised group and that I do not speak for all autistic people. It would seem to be no accident and an incredibly strategic Labor decision to have a ministry for autism beginning here in South Australia. Autism and the autistic experience is on the national Labor agenda. From a group of people who have been excluded, we are so thankful that this vehicle exists and are hopeful for the positive, meaningful change it has the potential to make. As a nation first, this will most likely become a national standard. With that in mind, it is with a sense of urgency that we ask you, the Labor government, both state and national, to get this right. As you will see, a key point that emerged through our survey was the need for this ministry to be led by actually autistic people. To date, many of us don't always feel like it has been. Significantly, many within our survey have called for the Labor-Malinaskis government to hire an actually autistic person directly within this ministry. Excluding us has the potential to have extremely damaging effects to all autistic people. I would briefly like to discuss the Liberal Senator Holly Hughes, who has been the driving force behind the National Select Committee on Autism. She is a neurotypical parent of an autistic child. She has bullied and excluded late-diagnosed autistic people in public forums. She is driving an intervention agenda that is significantly out of step with contemporary research and the views of many actually autistic people. In seeking to silence our voices, she is creating an environment that further marginalises and silences all autistic people, including her own child. In speaking over late diagnosed people, she is erasing the very real and often painful life experiences and challenges we have had. In speaking for those with higher support needs, she takes away their agency and autonomy to develop their own voices. I encourage you to read the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network statement regarding this senator and the Reframing Autism statement on early intervention therapies. When asked where funding should be placed to best support actually autistic people, a significant portion of our survey respondents specifically stated within their overall response that they would like to see autistic-led, autistic-designed and neuro-affirming support services funded. Many also called for a specific type of early intervention like those delivered by Autism SA to be abolished, not my words, a survey respondent. It is no understatement to note that we are desperate for accessible diagnosis with early and ongoing support services, specifically for adult autistic people who are feeling significantly isolated and unsupported. If there are any National Labor representatives listening, we beg you to do better than those who seek to exclude us and speak over us. Being a parent of autistic people does not qualify you to speak for us and over us. At a state level, we ask you to create a national precedent that is indeed world-leading and is truly co-designed. Many neurotypical and holistic parents and service providers weaponise autistics who do wish to move through the world in more normative ways. There are many of us who do wish to just fit in, who do wish that they were neuronormative, and some who have profoundly painful and challenging physical expressions to their autistic experience who just wish they didn't. But there is little discussion or research being done into the systems of ableism or lack of adequate support that may be contributing to those feelings. They have the absolute right to feel those things. There are also many more of us that do not wish to change. We want the world to make space for and accommodate our difference while supporting our needs at every step of our life. If you are an holistic person supporting an autistic person, I encourage you to read Authoring Autism by Remy Yerger, Neuroqueer Heresies by Dr. Nick Walker, and Different Not Less by Chloe Hayden. Many of us have had painful moments in life where we just wish we were like everyone else. However, many have had the privilege and space to work past those feelings. Not all of us have had that privilege. Please don't weaponise those who do want to comply with normative frameworks to be safe, to be accepted, or to feel supported against the rest of us. We all deserve space in this conversation, and we all deserve to be supported. And regarding this conversation, I am sure it is no surprise to us that we had a lot to say. The survey report is long and dense. In the appendix of this report, you will find survey responses as received. The QR code on screen should call a downloadable copy of the report. These words are shared through the lens of direct lived experience. They are earnest, urgent even. They are rich and layered, and in many cases challenging to read. Again, I call on this ministry. I call in those in positions of influence. I call in parents and care and service providers of actually autistic people to consider these words and do more than giving us tokenistic opportunities to be heard and contribute to the little pathways that you have designed for us. We need to be leading the design of those pathways. This report is offered freely to you so long as proper attribution is given. Ableism, social stigma, exclusion, discrimination and bullying, whether disclosing a diagnosis or not, when combined, was discussed in just under 70% of the overall responses regarding barriers and challenges. Many of us have challenges in the workplace and with employment. This is due to a range of factors, but significantly is related to our experiences of stigma and discrimination. Poverty and housing issues were noted as challenges relating to our struggles finding and maintaining safe ongoing employment. Early interventions that focus on an autistic person's behaviour cannot resolve these barriers, as the issues lie with those who may be ableist, discriminatory or generally misinformed. Funding programs and campaigns that aim to reduce stigma and discrimination of autistic people is an urgently needed next step for this ministry. Nothing about us without us was a significant feeling that emerged through the survey results. There is so much to unpack from the report, more than we have time for this evening. I urge you to read the words of the survey respondents in full. The report closes with our stories of joy, many whom here today have contributed. I encourage you to seek out these stories at the end of the report. And I will now hand over to our next speaker, Meg,